Curious as to what's going on here in the Tucson housing market? Well, the market is definitely starting to shift, and the numbers are out for the Tucson Housing Market Report for July 2022. I'm going to dive into the numbers for the Tucson housing market. Hello, my name's Tyler Ford, Tucson, Arizona with eXp Realty, and welcome to this episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson real estate connection. And each and every month when the numbers come out for the Tucson housing market, I dive into the numbers, and hot off the press, the numbers are out for July 2022. And I'm going to go over some key numbers that I like to cover as to what's going on in the Tucson housing market. But interest rates have ticked up over the last 6 months or so. Home prices are at all-time high, which is starting to stifle the housing market across the country, and things are definitely starting to change here in Tucson. So I'm going to go over the numbers and let you know what's going on, and it also depends on what side of the fence you're on, whether you're a seller or a buyer, and what these numbers actually mean to you, depending on if you're looking to sell or buy or a combination of both. The first number I want to dive into is what we call percentage of list, and that is when somebody lists a home in the MLS, what percentage of the list price are sellers getting? And in a normal, healthy market, percentage of list is anywhere from about 92% upwards to 97%. So for example, if somebody were to list a home for $200,000 in a normal, healthy market, they're going to get anywhere from $194,000 downwards to about $184,000 in a normal, healthy market. And we've been well above 100% for quite some time now, but that is slowly starting to change, and it's starting to decline. So for July 2022, for single family homes, the percentage of list was 100%. So if somebody were to list a home on average for $200,000, they're getting their asking price. And for townhomes and condos, percentage of list was 100.2%. So they're getting slightly above their list price in the MLS on average for July 2022. The next number I want to go over is what we call months supply of inventory. And that is, if no other homes were to hit the market today, how long would it take for all the inventory in the MLS to be sold off? And in a normal, healthy market, months of inventory is anywhere from about 45 days upwards to 60 days, 65 days. And we've been well below that since COVID hit. So months of inventory for the last couple of years has been at like 30 days or less, but that is starting to change, which means inventory levels are going up. So for single family homes in the MLS for July 2022, months of inventory is 1.7, which is right at about 51 days. For townhomes and condos, month supply of inventory is 1.1, which is about 33 days. So again, we're still below what it normally is in a normal, healthy, neutral market, but month supply of inventory is slowly starting to climb. The next number I want to dive into is what we call average days on market. And what is average days on market? It is the average that it takes from the time that somebody lists a home till the time that it goes under contract, not from the time that you list until it actually closes. That is what is called average days on market. And in a normal, healthy market, average days on market is anywhere from about 45 to 60 days. We've been well below that since COVID hit. But average days on market is slowly starting to go up as inventory levels are starting to rise. So average days on market for single family homes listed in MLS for July 2022 was 18 days. For townhomes and condos, the average days on market was 14 days. And the reason townhomes and condos, the average days on market has always been a little bit less is because of the price point. They're less expensive, and from affordability standpoint and people qualifying for a mortgage, they're gravitating towards less expensive properties, which townhomes and condos typically are, and therefore the average days on market has always been a little bit less for townhomes and condos, and there's less inventory to be had as well. Now the question is, are home values going up or down? And I'm going to cover what we call the median home sales price in the MLS for July 2022. So for single family homes, the median home sales price for July 2022 was $385,000, which is up year over year appreciation of 16.7%. And over the last couple of years since COVID hit, we've seen double-digit appreciation rates in the mid 20% range. And so now we're below 20% and homes are not appreciating at the same rate. And last month, the median home sales price was $385,000. So it did not change from month to month, but it is up 16.7% year over year for single family homes. For townhomes and condos, the median sales price was $249,500, which is up year over year 20%. But if you look at last month's median sales price for townhomes and condos, it was about $15,000 more than what it was this month. So again, this market is starting to stabilize. We're not seeing these crazy double-digit appreciation rates. And in my opinion, what we're going to be seeing moving forward is more of a normal neutral market. And typically, homes appreciate anywhere from about 4 to 8% year over year. And I think that's where we're headed, where we're going to start to see home values go sideways and this market soften a little bit. The next number I want to dive into, my favorite number, and that is home inventory levels. Economics 101, supply and demand. And over the last couple of years, we've had supply go down, demand go up, which has caused crazy double-digit appreciation rates. And as we've seen inventory levels starting to tick up and demand dwindle just from an affordability standpoint and interest rates going up, we're now starting to see inventory levels rise, which is starting to stabilize this market. And again, like I said, I don't think homes are going to appreciate like they were, and we're going to see more of a 4 to 8% appreciation rate year over year. So inventory levels are definitely starting to tick up. They're still well below what they would need to be in a normal, neutral, healthy market in terms of an equilibrium of supply and demand. But again, that's slowly starting to shift, and I think we're going to be getting close to a neutral market where we're no longer going to be in a seller's market, but we're going to be more in a neutral market and possibly even a buyer's market, depending on where inventory levels go. But it's something to definitely keep an eye on. And each and every month I do a live where you can go over to YouTube, where I log into the MLS, and I've been tracking this over the last year, and it's pretty revealing. So I would encourage you to get on my monthly live where I just talk specifically about inventory. It's about 10 minutes and you can go to YouTube and check those out, but it's definitely worth watching. So inventory levels for single family homes for July 2022 listed in the MLS was 2,027 homes listed in the MLS. And for townhomes and condos, there were 222 active listings in the MLS. So again, I think we're slowly getting back to a normal, healthy, neutral market in terms of inventory, and buyers are now in a position where they can start to ask for seller concessions. They're able to negotiate more repairs on the Binzer. So again, this is good news for buyers because it's giving them more options and more flexibility in terms of, again, like I said, seller concessions and even negotiating price and also repairs. So that's what's going on. Inventory levels for July 2022 in the Tucson housing market. So that's a wrap for the Tucson housing market for July 2022. And people are always reaching out to me wanting to know my opinion and what's going on. And at the end of the day, all you can do is make an educated guess based on the numbers and the economy. And what I always say is, you got to do what's best for you. And if you're buying on an FHA or a VA, I would be somewhat cautious, maybe sit on the sidelines, save more money to weather a storm, because at the end of the day, if the market does pull back and you're upside down, that's no fun. And home ownership done the wrong way can actually be a liability and a burden. But I wish I had that crystal ball and I could predict the market. But that's why I like to do these market updates, just to keep people informed as to what's going on, so they can make the best decision for them, depending on whether they're a buyer or a seller. But if you're a seller out there, I would encourage you to take a look at the comps, make sure you price your house accordingly and not overprice it, because that can be the detriment where you actually get less money. So pricing your home right brings more people to the table, and as a result, you end up getting your asking price or slightly above. But if you go too high, we're seeing people not even show up to homes if they're overpriced, and people are not chasing the top end of this market. The one slight good news is interest rates have ticked down a little bit. We were in the mid 5% range on a 30-year fixed. So right now, currently on a 30-year fixed, you're looking at about 4.99% on average on a 30-year fixed, and on a 15-year fixed, you're looking at 4.26. But one of my recommendations, and one thing that my wife and I've done over the years, and it's served us really, really well, is we have done a 15-year mortgage and put down a minimum of 20% or more. And if this market does pull back on a 15-year mortgage, when you make a payment, the amount that goes to principal can sometimes outpace a declining market, so you're still building equity. So I would encourage you to possibly look at a 15 if you could afford it, and if not, maybe sit on the sidelines, save a little bit more money, and just look at the difference between a 30-year fixed and a 15, and it's mind-boggling in terms of how much interest you will save between the two options. So that wraps it up for the Tucson Housing Market Report for July 2022. Keep in mind, we've got a 16-foot box moving truck, so if you use us to buy or sell a home, you're more than welcome to use our truck. And even after the fact down the road, if you ever need to move appliances or furniture, pick something up at Home Depot or Lowe's, you're more than welcome to use our truck. Thanks for watching this episode of Living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection, and the Tucson Housing Market Report for July 2022. And if you're one to want to geek out on the numbers, I would encourage you to head on over to Tucson Homes and Lots, scroll down on the homepage, and there's a button over there to the market report. And then if you scroll all the way to the bottom of there, there's a link over to a PDF of the actual full report that TAR puts out. But I would encourage you to do that. You know, I went over some of the basic numbers, the ones that I like to cover, my favorite numbers. But again, there's a lot more to the report, and I would encourage you to head over and take a look. But if you like this video, do me a huge, huge favor and give me an internet high five by liking it. If you have any questions or comments, you can go ahead and comment below. And for more awesome videos about living in Tucson, your Tucson Real Estate Connection, you can subscribe to the channel. In the meantime, make it a great day.